Did you have a leak?
No, I put out 2 pallets of grass.
A week.
Oh.
Yeah, but they
See,
said
we
they
have
run
a,
as a children's home on top of
when I do the grass, well, I do it half and half,
private schools.
but we do have a well.
Low-income children.
But when we put out, it's all dead now. But every bit of it's dead. But when we put all that grass out, we just used well water.
I wish I had that to use for grass, you know.
Yeah. And before we filled our pool in, we used well water.
Yeah, our bill jumped up when we filled the pool.
Well, we have 10,000 gallons. We had 40,000. We had a big.
Thought mine would be. When you look at that chart on the water bill, it's like, shoot.
Of the compound that we were extending.
We had 40,000 so before, and we used to not have a well. So
That's not bad, $12. Did it take a long time?
what people do?
No, to fill it.
I think we had
Well, that's good.
one day that we had
See, I tried to drill a well at my studio across the street, and I told that man, it's got $2,000.
I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting and ask you to please silence your phones.
And it did.
You know where your phone is.
That's good.
And I would like to ask Doug Page to offer our invocation tonight, so please stand with me.
Heavenly Father God, we come to you. We give you thanks and we give you praise for all you do. Thank you for the recent rains. God, watch over our city. We give our council tonight as to make decisions that affect us, and your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I have several little announcements to make. One is, I'm assuming Cindy put this on our counter today. There is a Bowie Senior Citizens, all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast Saturday morning. Debbie, I understand that you are now working with the Senior Citizens Board. So it's $12, and it's 7:30 to 10 a.m. at the Bowie Senior Citizens Center at 501 Pelham. All the income from that benefits Meals on Wheels. Am I right? Yes. Okay. Cindy, if you'd like to come forward with your board members that you have with you. We have a proclamation tonight. Well, look, she's coming without a camera.
I know. And she's not even screaming.
So Cindy works with our tourism, to bring tourism to the city of Bowie, as everybody knows. And she brought to us a National Travel and Tourism Week for 2025 proclamation. I'm going to start a little below here, but established in 1983, the National Travel and Tourism Week, the NTTW, brings the industry together, each made to recognize the impact of travel to every corner of the country. The City of Bowie, Texas Community Development Board continues to support our local tourism in collaboration with other local entities. America's travel industry cannot be globally competitive without maximizing growth in leisure, business, and international inbound travelers. Increasing travel to and within the United States drives our economy to a more prosperous future and connects America. Small businesses account for more than 60% of the leisure and hospitality employment, and travel is an essential industry, and we must continue to communicate with the growing travel needs to the economic growth, benefits, fosters mutual understandings, and connects the nation. Mayor Galen Burris, do here proclaim May the 4th through the 10th, 2025, the National Travel and Tourism Week in Bowie, Texas. Yes. So there's your proclamation. Thank you very much. Thank you for the work you do on the board as well. And you can take that with you. I also asked, because the weather came in after the agenda was posted, so in tonight's items of community interest, I've asked Kirk Higgins, which is, the administrator of the Emergency Operations Center, to give me a little recap for the weekend's weather. The National Weather Service did a great job preparing us for the weekend of severe storms and heavy rain. The City of Bowie utilized social media to share the information several days in advance. Beginning on Friday and throughout the weekend, the city's HyperReach mass messaging system and social media were utilized extensively to share watches and warnings issued by the National Weather Service as well as local weather updates. At 9:35 Friday evening, the City of Bowie Emergency Operations Center was activated in advance of the severe weather impacting the area. EOC staff were in direct contact with the area volunteer fire departments and the National Weather Service throughout the event. Social media was used to share updates as conditions changed. On Saturday evening, the EOC activated at 6:15. As severe storms approached, at 6:24, the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for Jack and Montague counties for a confirmed tornado located northeast of Jacksboro near Highway 59 and FM 1810. The city's outdoor warning signs were sounded, and shortly thereafter, in total, the city's sirens were sounded 5 times during the storm. Throughout the evening and overnight, Bowie's fire, EMS department, police department, electric department, and street department were all responding to requests for assistance. As viral social media video showed, Mill Street, between the intermediate school and junior high school, experienced flash flooding following approximately 6 to 8 inches of rain that fell in a very short period of time. However, once the rainfall subsided, the recent renovations at the intersection of Mill and Nelson allowed the water to drain as designed. As expected, the heavy rainfall and runoff caused erosion of the creek at the intersection of Rock and Pillar. Also, as a result of the heavy rainfall in the area, the water level at Lake Amon Carter rose rapidly over Saturday night. Prior to the storms, the lake level was just below 920, the level at which the lake is considered full. By mid-morning on Sunday, the lake level had risen to 925.5, and by mid-morning on Monday, the lake had crested at 926.5. The level was concerning because at 927, feet will begin to flow over the emergency spillway across FM 1125 and into Big Sandy Creek. Throughout the weekend, social media and HyperReach were utilized to share this information with residents at Lake Amon Carter, those along Big Sandy Creek. Lake Amon Carter and the 2 boat ramps are currently, and I'm assuming, Jerry, still closed, and Selma Park is closed for camping until the lake level drops below 922. The reason I wanted to share this is for a couple of reasons. To make everybody aware of the HyperReach mass messaging program if you don't know about it. If you do live outside at the lake, there is a way for you to sign up for the messaging program. Just call here and talk to Kirk, and he can help you take care of that. And secondly, the flash flooding that made the news channels from Mill and Nelson, I wanted everybody to know that it did go down relatively fast, and even though the street was closed for a short period of time, once it was, the rain had slowed down, then everything did function as it was supposed to. And we have a citywide garage sale this weekend, in case anybody doesn't know about that. All right, so let's move on. And we're going to go to the city manager's report.
We will hold a kickoff meeting for the comprehensive planning grant tomorrow, April 23rd at 1 p.m. This meeting will be used to exchange ideas for the planning process. All the city department heads will attend, and each of you is invited. I went ahead and posted the meeting just in case there's enough of you there that we'd have a quorum. So you're welcome to come. It's posted, so if you've got any ideas, please bring those. Public management, our grant writers, planners will be at the meeting to facilitate the discussion. Substation Transformer project is still on hold, waiting on one switch required to finish it. Scheduled to arrive by June the 1st, and I would dearly love to have the new transformer working as we enter the heat of summer. I don't know if we can get it done, but hopefully we can. Otherwise, other than the rain, all departments are working and doing their usual jobs. Any questions?
Have we bought the pump we've been talking about? Have we purchased that, or?
No.
Okay.
Which pump are you talking about?
About the raw.
Talking about the raw water pump, I assume?
Yes.
No.
Well, let's wait till we get to that part of the agenda.
Okay.
All right, so if there are no questions about the comprehensive planning and the substation, we'll move on.
I guess
All right, so the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting, April the 8th, but also the financial statement ending March 2025. And Pamela, I would like for you to go to the podium, please. Take it all.
Take it all.
Take it all.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. In front of you tonight, you're going to see your second quarter ending, March, of the budget year 2024-2025. In the page off to the right of you, you'll see the first column. Please take a look at, and you're going to see water, sewer, electric over there. Those are the revenues that came in.
That's to the left.
That's to the left. Oh, sorry, I'm looking my
You're
right.
looking your way, so it's on the left.
It's left.
It'd be
Yeah.
left her way. I'm going
Yeah.
right this way. No. So you'll see that. That's the revenues for the first 6 months of the year. The second column is last year's revenue, and then you're going to see the difference. So down there, the total utility funds brought in a little over $6 million. The interest was a little bit lower because the CD that we had in the funds brought quite a bit of interest in, and we actually cashed that in and put it into our operating funds. Then you're going to go down one more column, and you're going to see utility expenditures. Then you'll see the water, wastewater, and electric again. Then you're going to see last year. You're going to see quite a bit of difference there in the expenditures, because the next column is 23-24, and then you're going to see a difference in the water fund alone. We spent over $400,000 more. Then you'll see the sewer, and then the electric. I don't know how he pulled this off, but he did. It was actually $41,000 less. So all in all, we're still looking at over a $500,000 deficit with revenue over expenditures during the first 6 months. If you remember the first quarter, I came up here and I said that if this didn't improve, I'd raise my hand. I'm raising my hand. That's quite a bit of deficit to be having through 6 months of the year. But it's not all bad. The general fund is holding its own. The sales tax, we collected a little bit over $25,000 more than last year. So the general fund at the time is doing relatively well. The utility funds, I have some concern, and it's not all about the capital improvement or capital equipment we purchased. Those were budgeted for. It's the actual cost of doing business in all the funds. It's from papers went up. It used to cost this, and this is a minute little issue, $30. Now it costs us $50. The chemicals at the water plant, they've increased 20-25%. We haven't even bought our bulk yet because summer is not hit. And when summer hits, the lake heats up, there's more sun. Your vaticals start producing in that water. It costs more to treat to have drinkable water. The filters in the plant cost a lot more. It costs a lot more to run the wastewater plants. Everything has went up. Inflation's went up, but our cost in a lot of areas as far as revenue is not, as you can see. Our revenue is pretty much where it was last year, but our expenditures have exceeded. And it's no fault of any department head not doing their job. They're within their budgets to the best of their ability. It's the cost that they need to have to do the job they have to do. It's the cost of goods that we have to buy. Any questions?
As far as the expenditures go, I guess going forward of what's budgeted and where we're currently at on, because I was looking at trying to find one different category, but I can't find one particular thing to pin it on. It's expenditure here, 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 and here.
It's not. It's a little bit all across the board. That's what I'm trying to let the council know. It's not one department that's not doing their job. Everybody's doing their job the best they could. Did you expect a gallon of milk to go up as much as it did almost a year ago when we did budget? Or, 12-pack eggs?
No.
So that's where the problem is. Everything is increased quite a bit, and we budgeted for an increase, but not as much as what has occurred.
Would you recommend any budget changes going forward?
Everybody's gonna tighten their belts. Some,
I guess I'm asking, is there areas that we can do that going forward and still be able to operate by the chemicals and get the absolute necessities and still stay in?
I can't see how. I think we need to figure out a way and take a harder look at our revenues. Our expenditures are tight, as you just said. We went down every single line item and nothing is outstanding. And like I said, we haven't even bought our summer supplies as of yet that we have to have to do business. We have to have these. You have to be able to pump out your wastewater treatment plant. You have to be able to provide drinkable water to our citizens and electric. There's no way around that. And on the general fund, we like to support our fire department, our police department. They have to have the funds for gasoline and so forth. How they're going to get to where they need to go.
Tell us again how much we took out of the utility fund and transferred to the general fund.
That is a yearly budget move that we do. We've been doing it for 22 years. I went back.
I was just curious, how much should we this month that we're looking at right now? How much?
Oh, this month you're going to see a transfer, okay? And that transfer, what that transfer is I have to transfer fund out of the whole utility fund into a different bank account to pay the sewer bond payment. That comes from the sewer fund, wastewater, but it's showing as a budget transfer. And I had to transfer $300,000 for that. And that's per ordinance, and we have to make those bond payments.
That's the same thing as the transfer, we talked about the audit, right?
Correct, no different.
Well, there's a difference between the transfer payment for the sewer bond, because we have borrowed funds for that. And then there's a difference, which is what I think Brandon is asking. We budgeted for a transfer from the utility to the general fund this year of $1.3 million. I know there's a nasty rumor out there that we do $3.1 million, but we do not. We've only budgeted 1.3 for this entire year.
You'll see different transfers going in and out of there because I have to use that fund to transfer to the different funds, not necessarily the general fund. It's to make payments on our bonds. We have 2 bonds out that are the money sitting in a different fund, so they, at any given time, I can show them we have the money to make those bond payments. Okay?
We're moving money from checking to savings.
Pardon me?
Checking, or savings to checking.
Pretty much, if that's a good way to put it. Sorry I didn't answer your question well enough.
Oh, no problem. Basically, that 1.3 million that we do transfer, that goes to keeping them guys running, basically keeping us running.
Absolutely. Our sales tax and our property tax don't support all funds in the general fund, and that's been occurring here for, like I said, I went back 22 years, so. And it used to be a lot more. At one time, it was 2.2 million that they were transferring. So the utility fund's doing almost $1 million, better at this time.
What falls under water miscellaneous?
That just depends. If there's no line item to put it in,
Well, it's way over budget, that's the only reason I was asking.
what page are you looking at?
Page 3. Look, the budget
That's a
amount's
revenue. That's a
$11,000.
revenue
Is that the
account.
revenue account?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And that's probably a sold of a vehicle. Okay, that's where I have to put it until I do amortization at the end of the year.
Maybe I should get on the right page. No, I thought I was on the right page. Revenue and expense.
Any other questions? You're going to see all funds are doing pretty well. It's just the revenue's a little light on the expenditures.
No more questions for Pamela? All right. Thank you, Pamela. Don't leave, but thank you. I mean, don't, you leave the podium,
Oh,
just don't leave the room.
I can't sneak out?
No,
Okay.
you did that once before.
I know, and I was told about it. No, I'm teasing you.
All right, so I'm assuming you guys have all read your minutes from the last meeting, so at this time I would entertain a motion to accept both the regular meeting minutes and the financial statements just presented by Pamela.
So moved.
Ashley, do I have a second?
Second.
Host? Shaw?
Aye.
Truax?
Aye.
Ashley?
Aye.
Scrolls?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
Walker?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda has been brought back to you because of the veto from the last meeting, so it's the second reading of Ordinance 2025-02 and Ordinance amending Appendix C Fee Schedule Water Rates 2018 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bowie, tax increasing water rates, providing a savings clause, a severability clause, and an effective date. As you know, this relates directly to the water rate increase. I think you've also been handed out another form for you to look at, another couple of pages of info there. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the water rate increase on Ordinance 2025-02.
Is that, let's see, the first page of this supplement document here, is that current rates? What is?
These are the very same documents that we went through at our work session. And the first page there is the actual gallons that we pump through the plant. So all in all, including inside, outside, and Carter, we pump roughly, and I went from April, May, and June, it's roughly 16 million gallons for 1 month that goes through our plant. The second page is to let you see a little bit of $2.50 increase inside city limits, and this is per 1,000 gallons. And with the $2.50 increase per 1,000 gallons, you can see this is the billable amount for inside city limits was 13,804,000. That would be an increase of 13,804 gallons, which breaks it down to 34,000, but the total year included everything would be 400,000. And if you keep going down for outside city limits, that increase was at $3 per 1,000 gallons. Billable gallons was 2.5. Break that down per 1,000 gallons. So you can see times 12, that'd be 90,000. So it would be a total of $504,000 with that increase. Outside city limits and Amon Carter, that was a $3 increase. And that would bring in a total of $36,000 a year estimated on gallons.
But then we subtract our current deficit, and we're looking at just being able to utilize, because I mean, plan is, we have all these huge projects we got coming up.
I wasn't even talking about the projects.
I know,
I'm
that's
just,
what I'm saying, like.
I'm
you
just
take that
talking
out of it,
about-
But we're only being able to put 100 grand.
cost of goods sold. And you also have to think right now we're at 6 months during the year, and this is figured out for the whole year. So during the 6 months to the end of the year, we'd only be bringing in 250,000 more.
It's a start.
Any more questions?
Any more for Pamela?
What's that, $1.95 per 1,000 up there at the top?
First page.
Oh,
That's what, Amon Carter's
Amy
being
Carter
charged,
played.
Oh, that's
charged
what's
now.
happening.
That's what they're being charged now. Okay.
All her average numbers are just that, remember, average numbers, so those will vary some each month. Any other questions? I'll go back again. Do I have a motion to accept the ordinance as presented?
I'll kind of copy off what Donna had said the last meeting, that I don't see a way around this. I've looked through the financials, I've looked through all the things that we have to do, and the town that we all want this place to be, and I honestly just do not see another route than we have to charge more for the things that we are being charged for to do that. So I will make a motion that we accept this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ashley? Truax? Walker?
No.
Shaw?
Yes.
Sproles?
Yes.
Post?
Aye.
And Ashley?
Aye.
All right, I would like to thank the council for I know this has been a tough decision. I know it's going to be a tough decision for someone out there, some people out in the city to recognize, but it is, we have a hard job to do, and I appreciate you taking the time to figure it out and making this happen. So our next item on the agenda will be the second reading of Ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance amending Chapter 4, Business and Commerce of the City of Bowie Code of Ordinances by repealing Article 4.200, Mobile Food Vendors in its entirety, and adopting a new Article 4.200 entitled Mobile Food Vendors at Bowie Food Court, repealing any conflicting codes or ordinances and orders, providing for severability clause, adopting a savings clause, determining that the ordinance was passed in accordance to the requirements of the Open Meetings Act, and establishing an effective date. Again, this is the second reading for an ordinance that you passed at the last meeting. I would entertain a motion to accept the second reading.
So moved.
Ashley, do I have a second?
Second.
Walker? Shaw?
Yes.
Truax? Ashley?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
Walker?
Aye.
And because we did that, then we have yet another ordinance. And it's the second reading of Ordinance 2025-04, an ordinance of the City of Bowie, Texas, amending the City of Bowie Code of Ordinances by amending the City of Bowie Appendix C Fee Schedule Mobile Food Unit Permits 2021 by increasing the annual fee and removing the application fee, providing a savings clause, a repealer clause, and an effective date. Again, this is the second reading of an ordinance that you passed. But entertain a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
Who's that? Post?
Me.
Second?
Second.
Truax? Ashley?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
Walker?
Aye.
Shaw?
Aye.
And Truax.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The next item on the, oh, excuse me, lost my speech. The next item on the agenda is new business, and it's to review and discuss Section 3 policy updates and an information for the city's TxCDBG contract number CDM 23-0142, and Bert has an update for you.
Update.
Well, that's what this is.
Basically, what this is it's required from the Texas Department of Agriculture. I'm gonna read it verbatim. What it is, it's just government riprap, basically. City of Bowie received grant contract CMD 23-0142 in the amount of $450,000 funded through the Community Development Block Grant via the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Texas Department of Agriculture for purpose of sidewalk construction. The overall purpose of Section 3 is to facilitate contract and employment opportunities for low and very low income workers, specifically those that live close to the project location. To report on these efforts, the presentation details new reporting requirements and other efforts to increase Section 3 participation in the CBDG program. It instituted new Section 3 policy requirements effective November 3rd, 2020. In July of 21, TDA implemented the final ruling of all existing and future construction CBDG grants. As part of these requirements, each grant recipient is required to review and discuss a Section 3 presentation during a meeting of its governing body. The additional pages, they have some additional pages. If you want to see that, they're in my office. The additional pages dive deeper into Section 3 concepts, definitions for Section 3 businesses and workers, contractor outreach, recommendation for new hires, and record-keeping requirements pertaining to the grant. Going forward, the Grant Administrator Public Management Incorporated will coordinate with all parties to monitor public posting and contractor requirements pertaining to Section 3 provision, track the number of hours of anyone who works on the grant project, including local government employees, city secretary, city administrator, public works, water operators, construction contractors, laborers and staff, grant administration employees, engineers, surveyors, and other professionals are exempt for hourly reporting requirement. There's no action required tonight. This presentation is simply required in order to meet the documentation required for the TDA grant. Please reach out to your grant administrator with any questions on these changes. That's it.
Yeah. Mumbo jumbo, but necessary. All right, so there's no action required, and this meeting tomorrow is the kickoff meeting for this TDA grant. All right, so the next item on the agenda is a request from our favorite Public Works Director.
Yeah.
Money man. Like my mother-in-law being her favorite son-in-law. I was the only one. He's our only one.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So just a little reminder, I came back in October. We do this about every 6 months. I have to come and ask for money to take out of our TAP account, which we currently sit in that account, a restricted account for meters and modules and so forth. And we currently have a balance of $274,000 in that account that we pull from. And right now I'm just requesting $9,763. That is to buy 40 3/4-inch meters and 24 1-inch meters. And I will say this, that I guess it was about 6 months ago, Bert, we had a different company come in and look at our system that we have, because I'm not pleased with it. I know it works great for Jay on the electrical side, but we still have trouble on the meter side. All these salespeople will tell you these meters will last 10 to 20 years. I think we get about 3 out of them. So that's what this is. About every 6 months, I got to restock. A lot of that is, about 60% of that is meter replacement. The other 40% is new taps. And if you're wondering, we did go back to, we were doing a lot of digital meters, and we went back to the old analog type meters. They seem to last a little longer, and it saves a little more money. So.
Does that require more meter readers?
No, it's the same. It's the same. And the problem with those meters is, the reason it works so great for the electrical side, because they're above ground, those meters aren't designed to be put underground and get in the elements. They get wet, get mud on them, whatever, and they're just not designed that way. A lot of times what happens to batteries, they'll try to send a signal and then it burns the batteries up in them.
So is the plan to go ahead and transition out of those entirely as we go forward?
That's what I've been doing, yes, getting rid of.
What percentage of the bad ones do we have right now in service?
I think Pam handles the meter reading side, but I think we're still reading some months between 400 and 600 meters a month. So it's still quite a bit.
How many should we be reading?
Well, when they sold this product to the city years ago, I think we probably should be in the 90%. They should have, so we should only be reading about 10% of them.
As I recall, we never got anywhere close to 90%.
No.
The electric department reads at 95, 97%.
You're at 92%, aren't you, Jay? About 92%?
For the electric meters.
I think it's 92%.
Yeah.
When we
Pretty
looked
high.
at it.
That's about correct.
So what we need is $9,763 for you to purchase new meters.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will ask for a motion to accept.
So moved.
Sproles, do I have a second?
I'll second it. We need meters.
Walker? Shaw?
Yes.
Truax? Ashley? Walker? Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Unanimous, you got your
All
money.
right, thank you.
Now get to work, Stone.
So I'd like to open the floor to public comments. if there are any. If there are, please come to the podium. You can pull that down. Here you go.
Can you hear me? I don't want to yell like I did last time. This box is just a baby.
Wait a minute, what is your name?
Danielle
Okay.
McCarty. There's nothing in this box bad. It's a baby animal that has to go to rescue. I'm not happy with the water increase. Not happy at all. Can't afford it. I don't think it's going to work out. It's not going to bring in the revenue that you think because people are going to cut back on their water. They're not going to use it if it's too expensive. So you're going to have less water flowing through. I live out of town. We get the worst water. We have the worst pipes. And we're going to be charged more than people in town. I don't think that's fair. If we had decent pipes out there, new pipes, whatever, it might be different. But to be charging more is not good. You guys want new business to come into these towns, and you want this town to grow, but you keep raising the water and making it hard for people to have a business here. Like, how is that going to work? People aren't going to come here. They're not going to come here for that. You can compare it with down south and the Metroplex and how much they're paying down there for their water and all that, but you forget, we don't have the services they do down there. We don't have that at all. We're living on crumbles. And I don't believe that this city has used their money wisely in the past. Couple examples, street sweeper. When we had that big freeze, the grants or the aid that we could have gotten could have been more. It could have been more if we had. Well, I'll just leave it at that. It could have been more. We could have had more money. The city wastes money. It wastes money, and it has been wasting money. And now all of a sudden, there's this big emergency. We got to buy a pump. We got to buy a new pump. Well, I don't know. We might not need the pump. And last I heard, well, we might not need it. We might not. And then all of a sudden, everyone's talking about, well, we got to buy a pump. Well, y'all didn't tell the public, do we need that pump? Do we not? What's going on? Because I watch every city council meeting. If I'm not here, I watch it on YouTube. And things come up, and y'all talk about it, and we have public discussion, and then it just gets dropped. And maybe y'all think it's riffraff or not important or whatever, but I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear the explanations. I would like to see the budget things. I don't like miscellaneous. Well, what is miscellaneous? Well, it's a bunch of stuff that doesn't fit in. What? What is it? What funds are those? What money is it? And like he said, well, is there room to cut back? Well, sure there is, because you said a couple meetings ago that the other utilities were holding their own, but you wanted to separate the water and the sewer onto its own budget, and you can't do that because it doesn't make a profit without pulling from the other utilities. And that's great. You want to keep it separate? That's great. But don't do it now. I mean, look at, like you said, the price of milk, it's sky high. Are we going to raise our water sky high? I know that things cost money, but come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not an emergency. It hasn't been an emergency. There's no reason to raise these. We can put that water fund back in with all the utilities and the general thing and do that later when you're more financially solvent, when people here are not struggling as so much, when the economy gets better, something like that. But like, how much money can you squeeze out of these people? Like, look around the town. Does it look like they're bringing in over $100,000 a person? Doesn't look like it to me. It looks like this town is crumbling. It's crumbling. So what's gonna happen? You can't feed your kids, so you're gonna cut back on your water. So you're not gonna have the revenue that you think you are. And your pipes keep breaking, and all that water flows, and it keeps flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. And all that water's gone. That's water that you can't sell. It's just water down the street.
I think I'm gonna have to ask you to wrap it up.
Okay, that's
you.
it. That's my rant. I'm
Thank
not
you.
happy. Not happy at all. Can't do anything about it. My hands are tied, but I don't like it, and I'm not happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to comment on a couple of things that she said, because I just want the public to be aware. This is the first rate increase since 2018. And back in February of the storm, the freeze, the city paid a utility bill for the citizens and the electric providers without passing that on to the public. That was a very big $1.3 million hit to us. So yes, we are trying to do things for our citizens. It's unfortunate that costs did go up. Not only did it go up on the price of milk, but it went up on the price of chemicals, as we've talked, and everything else. So I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I would like for the citizens to know that we are trying to do everything we can to keep the rates down. All right, any other comments?
Too close. I'm Angie Christmas, and I've got a message that there's a huge leak somewhere at the cemetery. A water leak. It's like spewing. Frank sent me the message. He does solar, and he called it in 2 days ago. He said he just sent me a message. He said he drove by a few hours ago, and it's still spewing. This was 2 days ago, and there is a big water leak. It has been called, and it has not been addressed. That's all.
Nobody told you?
Frank.
Has anybody called finance? Nobody's called us? Okay. All right, any other public comments? All right, then I'm going to, at 6:41, adjourn the meeting. Oh, wait, I'm not going to adjourn.
I apologize, I didn't ask the council and the mayor, when would you like these increases to start, May 1st, or how would you like that to proceed?
It was set up.
I think we talked about it ASAP.
At your next billing.
Yeah.
It was called in Sunday afternoon.
So I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 6:41.